can get sucked back down into your occupied space, or even if it's in the basement or a utility room, that then brings the carbon monoxide and other combustion gases into the house, and then it works itself through the house. So combustion safety testing is an important part to make sure that that's not happening. And as Paul says, it's amazing how many homes that we think are relatively new, relatively good shape, actually have that condition happening. Okay, yeah, here's our Cat Sucker 2000, and here's the kind of thing that happens, where the flue gases, instead of going up and heating the water and going up to the roof, we're coming out of the firebox and beginning to scorch the insulation on the outside of the water heater. Moisture is another thing we track. I'm not going to go into that here today. I want to leave some more time for a talk at the end. Kind of a cartoonish example of ways in which the energy that you're paying PG&E goes flowing out of your house, literally out through the windows, doors, and what have you. The biggest number here, through the ceiling. Remember building science, warm air rises, it's less dense, it's more buoyant, it goes up, it finds its way up in the attic one way or another. Whether it's following the holes that the plumber and the electrician drilled, or places around the chimney where it wasn't sealed, or those can lights that weren't sealed, it finds its way up into the attic and it's out, it's gone. So the biggest bang for the buck, as a rule in our homes, is after you've sealed all the surfaces, is to insulate your attic really well. Similarly for the walls, and even down the crawl space, the floor, basement. A smaller number, but still a significant number, is window leakage. Once again, is it literally leaking? I mean, you can feel the draft, and that draft is more pronounced when you do the blower door test, but you probably know when it's cold next to the window. Just weather stripping for a start. Windows are expensive. Good quality windows are even more expensive. It takes quite a bit longer for new windows to pay for themselves, but they do pay them for themselves, maybe in 6 or 7 years, okay, as opposed to the 10 or 12 years for a PV system, but a lot more than the 1 or 2 years or even a few months for some of these insulation upgrades. So you want to, whoever you have, evaluate your house. And I absolutely, above all else, want you to come away, before you do any work, make sure you assess your whole house with somebody who knows what they're doing and can advise you on all the possibilities. Yeah?
This is a great slide, because most people, when you talk about energy efficiency, most homeowners immediately assume it means replacing all their windows.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, it's probably the last structural thing that you do. Yeah. So, first, make sure the building envelope, all those leaks, insulate. Take a look at your HVAC system. It's not just the efficiency rating on the nameplate of the system. There's many systems that have been around for a couple of decades that are working fine. They're still 70, maybe 80% efficient, but it's the duct leakage that's killing you. Like you're losing their effectiveness. And of course, once you've sealed up the envelope and insulated, you don't need that much more energy to heat it or cool it. It'll maintain its temperature. And as I said, with these passive homes, if you really do a good job, you don't even need that warm air furnace anymore. You can do with something far more economical. It's like heating your home with an air dryer. So if you really get a tight shell well insulated, you don't need much more energy than a hair dryer to be able to keep your house warm, because we're generators of energy. Each of us is giving off as much energy as probably a 100, 150 watt light bulb. You take a shower, the warmth of the air coming out of the shower. You cook, the cooking warms up. Your dog, the pet, the cat and the dog running around, they're all giving off energy. They're keeping your house warm. As long as you don't lose that energy, it can maintain itself. Yes? Yes. So there's, like I say, endless opportunities to go into greater depth here. This is just a brief overview. I hope you come back Saturday. I hope you sign up and start serious training next Thursday. Just to break down in terms of some of the places where energy is used in your house, the kind of checklist that people use to go over it. Yes? Okay. Heating and cooling is a big part of the energy our house is. But of course, if we tighten them up and insulate them, that gets shrunk a whole lot. Refrigerator, freezer, getting the more efficient models, Energy Star or better, helps out on that. Lighting is a big, it's relatively cheap to change out incandescent lights for fluorescent lights, and there are other things. And making good use of daylight. It's like homes used to be built with daylight. Schools, public buildings used to have daylight. But because we've had the benefit of cheap energy for so long, we haven't thought about enclosing ourselves in dark little caves and using energy in order to be able to heat them up or light them up.
Peter,
Yep.
This is a national slide, right?
This is a national slide, yeah. But so heating and cooling here, at least in coastal California, would be less. Yep. Yes. Did you want to say?
Well, first, anybody have any questions right now? Any questions? No questions? Questions?
Is this, you said there was going to be another round of training if we're not able to do the training this time around? Is that already been scheduled?
Yeah, if you're not available starting next Thursday, there are more trainings. Go to the CBPCA.org website and you will see them listed. There's one that's scheduled up for Sacramento that is looking for people to sign up right now, yeah.
There's more and more. It'll be an ongoing
Yeah.
process. In Sonoma County alone, we have to train about 1,000 people to be on the lead for maybe 100 contractors if we're even going to approach what we want to accomplish here. So it's just, up until recently, there was one main instructor in the state who basically wrote a big part of the agenda of what we've all learned. And recently, out of the 500 people he trained, 15 of us, or actually 10 of us, we've been cloned. And we have the field experience and we don't drool. And so therefore, we met the two basic qualifications to instruct contractors, because I resemble one and so does Peter. So the answer is there'll be plenty of programming. Plenty of opportunities to pick them up.
If you take the 9-day class, will you be certified by CBPCA as a HERS rater in California?
No, what you'll be is, you can go be a HERS rater in 3 days with Cheers or CBPCA
Or CalCerts.
or CalCerts. You are not a person, you just go through a basic set of prescriptive tests and you come up with a report based on a very straightforward set of tests. Building science gets into the combination of subjective and objective and the analysis and integration of all of these various systems. So it's really, that 9 days is the start of your education, but it's enough to give you a running start and know what you're doing.
And know what you don't know.
But it's, yeah, and it's really just a start. I mean, I every day I'm learning something new. Yes?
So Title 24, some of the, as you're building, require HERS raters and things of that sort. Are there any requirements for this certification or building professional or knowing that building science in any of the Title 24 or any of those?
Well,
So is there any legislative stuff?
it's to be honest with you, it's in the works. There's workshops every day right now where they know they need to upgrade to, does anybody in here do Title 24, use EnergySoft or the other one, MicroPass? Well, I do that as part of what I do. And I took some courses, and then when I got done taking those and kind of knew how to use the software, I found out I didn't even have to take those courses. All I had to do was go buy the software, and I could sign that I'm Title 24, even though I knew nothing. So as part of my work, when I work on some very high-end houses that I want to help them get where they really want to go, I take the data from the Title 24 person that did it, and I reanalyze it, and generally 30% of it's wrong because it's someone that really wasn't trained. There are times, and there's a few outfits here in town where I don't bother anymore. I analyzed it once, and they were right on the money. But there's a lot of small shops that they're just punching numbers in. If you go on the internet and you get a Title 24 done for your house in 24 hours for $150, which you can do, you get $150 worth, and you probably spend an extra $500 a year on an uncomfortable home on energy because they missed it. And they also didn't integrate further things. So to answer your question, it's just a level above it. It's a whole bigger process.